Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. John's Greece trip, Bobby's Bayview transfer, Xander avoids captivity. Days of Our Lives reveals that Jada Hunter was with Kayla Johnson when she got a call about the chaos at the Kiriaki's manse, so their lunch at the cantina took an unsettling turn. Meanwhile, John Black nearly shot Steve Johnson due to his moping programming, but he managed to shake it off when he heard Kayla's ringtone calling. Sarah Horton picked up the phone and assured Kayla that although Steve had been injured, he was stable and would be heading to the sanitarium now that paramedics had arrived. At the sanitarium on occasion, Stephanie Johnson learned Everett Lynch aka Robert Bobby Stein still hadn't resurfaced since Bobby was the dominant one right now. Marlena Evans couldn't reveal the details, but she said enough to leave Stephanie upset that Everett might be gone ever. John ultimately showed up with updates on Steve's injury, so Stephanie went running into her pop's sanitarium room to check on him. Kayla joined Steve as well and scolded him once they were alone since she didn't like being left in the dark on his plans. Coming on Tuesday's DOOL show, Xander Cook Alex Kiriakis and Brady Black milled over what Konstantin Meliunis meant by them still having an adversary in their midst. Since Victoria Horton Cook's hijacking a bettor was still out there, that led to Enterprise that this Riddle supporter was the other adversary. Jada eventually showed up and demanded answers after seeing Konstantin's body on the ground, so she heard the whole story. Although Xander acted like he was an idol for saving Teresa Donovan, Brady and Alex refocused out that he put Teresa in peril just moments ahead and said he didn't watch about her safety. Teresa sounded torn between gratefulness and annoyance since Xander indeed conducted recklessly. Still, Xander defended his conduct and wondered if he was supposed to just let Konstantin strangle Teresa. Jada took and bothered Xander down to the police station so he could give his sanctioned statement. There was a debate over whether Xander's motive was guarding Teresa or going after vengeance. Sarah joined Xander in the interrogation room and sounded nervous about what DA Melinda Trask, Tina Huang, would decide, but Trask thankfully didn't press charges. At the Kiriaki's manse again on Tuesday's occasion, Brady helped Teresa by putting some ice on her neck. Teresa was surprised that Brady was being so nice to her and apologized for being asleep earlier. Brady assured Teresa that she was the mama of his child and someone he'd always watch about, but Alex claimed he could take over from then and told Brady to beat it once he appeared. Latterly, Xander raised a glass to Victor Kiriakis, John Aniston, portrayal and told the old man that they both knew he shot Konstantin for him. Now Xander hoped that Victor could rest in peace. Once Stephanie talked to Jada at the sanitarium, they bandied Steve's fire as well as Bobby aka Everett's situation. Since the Croakers weren't making progress with him, Bobby was being transferred to Bayview. Back with Marlena on Tuesday's occasion, she said about Konstantin's demise and wasn't worried about it. John confessed that his programming nearly drove him to shoot Steve, but Marlena misdoubted that he actually would have harmed his good friend. Indeed so, John made a vaticination about getting checked by visiting Katharina's, Ellie Patricchio's, gravesite in Greece, and it was commodity he demanded to do on his own. Marlena hoped to complete another round of deprogramming before John's departure, so he was all for that plan. Days of Our Lives spoilers say John's trip could lead to some shocking discoveries. Marlena was working at the sanitarium when Stephanie approached her and asked about Everett. "I cannot really give you any details," Marlena said. "I was just hoping that you could tell me if Everett is okay or not," Stephanie combated. Marlena admitted that she had only spoken to Bobby. "So, Bobby has followed through on his trouble, not to let Everett reappear," Stephanie rumored. With a nod, Marlena noted that Bobby was still the dominant personality. "Does not Everett have to re-emerge at some point?" Stephanie asked. Marlena admitted she couldn't answer the question. "Are you saying that Everett may be gone ever?" Stephanie asked. Marlena advised Stephanie not to give up so beforehand in the process. Stephanie confessed that she felt shamefaced that she had lashed out at Everett when she had first learned about his double life. "You have helped, Everett. Jada, too. You did the intervention," Marlena argued. I am beginning to suppose that we made effects worse, Stephanie said. Marlena noted that Abigail had plotted before her integration. But Abigail had Chad by her side. Everett has no bone. Stephanie combated. Marlena noted that Everett had Stephanie and Jada. John exited the elevator, and he precipitously noted that their plans for Maggie's marriage had gone sideways. John informed Stephanie that Steve had been shot but that Sarah had tended to his minor crack. I rode with Steve in the ambulance, and he made bad pater jokes the whole way then, John added. John directed Stephanie to Steve's trauma room, and she ran off. Marlena attended John back to her office, and John verified that Brady had texted that Teresa was okay. And did Constantine get down? Marlena asked. He is dead. Xander shot him, John said. With a nod, Marlena admitted that she wasn't upset about the news. At least he cannot hurt anybody presently. And his reign of terror is now over, Marlena said. John sniffed. Not relatively, John said. John showed Marlena the red card. I was suitable to repel Constantine's suggestion fully, John said. Also our deprogramming is working. Marlena said. John shook his head to note that wasn't accurate. After all the chaos, there was a moment where I looked over and I saw this card on the bottom, and I was drawn to it. And all I could hear was Constantine's orders pounding in my cognizance each over again. And also I picked up Steve's gun, and I refocused it at him, John confessed. John admitted that he'd plotted to recapture control. Luckily, Kayla called Steve, and there must have been commodity about the ringing of that phone that just snapped me out of it. But what if it hadn't? John said. Marlena noted that John hadn't been fully bartered out. You would no way hurt Steve. But we do have to work on getting you out from under Constantine's spell, Marlena said. John bothered audibly that he was still a ticking time lemon. I know this is so frustrating for you, but with a little bit more remedy, I am sure we can free you from the residual goods of the swaying, Marlena said. Marlena asked John not to be too hard on himself. How can I not feel inviting guilt for killing that innocent youthful woman? Especially after tonight, when everything was a result of that, John said. Marlena prompted John not to frame effects that way. John argued that he demanded to go to Katharina's grave and pay his felicitations. Marlena wanted to join John, but he claimed he demanded to go alone. John agreed to a session of deprogramming before he left city, and he hugged Marlena tight. I am so thankful for you. I am thankful that you are mine, and I love you, and you love me. You are my everything, John said. I feel the same way, Marlena said. John looked over Marlena's shoulder at the red card on her office. In Steve's sanitarium room, Kayla rushed by. It's nothing, baby, Steve said. Well, it clearly does not look like nothing, Kayla expostulated. Stephanie ran into the room before Steve could explain what had happened. After a clinch, Steve told Kayla and Stephanie about the firing.